Most of the problems in life are because of one of two reasons. We act without thinking, or we keep thinking without acting. It is time. What is up, everyone? Happy Monday to you, or at least that is when this video dropped. If you didn't catch it on Monday, what are you doing? How come you haven't subscribed yet? You know you can get notified the moment these videos drop. So why haven't you done that yet? Regardless, you're watching it now, and I am thankful for that, and I think you will be too. This is Step Up to Greatness. These are our Life Lessons videos, and I am your greatness facilitator, Dustin Russ. These videos aren't magic beans, but they are aimed to motivate, inspire, educate, and point you in the direction of a life of greatness. So let's get to the goods. Now, if you caught our episode last week, we talked about the importance of setting values in your life. No, not how much items you own are worth, but the values and beliefs you want to live by. What your goals in your life are based off of, and what do you want people to think and believe about you. Now, after some discussion with some of you about the video, I came to a realization. I realized that prior to last week's video, a lot of people didn't know how to come up with their own values. Now, I mentioned towards the end of the video that there's the belief that we're the sum of the 5 people we surround ourselves with. Or, as Jim Rohn said, you're the average of those 5 people. Either way, this is talking about your environment, what you're exposed to. Now, this has 2 sides to its coin. On one hand, in some cultures like Japan and India, they are known for holding high standards, and as a result, they have a lot of grand accomplishments. But on the other side, the environment you are surrounded with and exposed to for a good portion of your life could result in what's known as subconscious engineering. What I mean by that is that you see things, you hear things, you feel things, experience things, are told things, and have certain things expected of you because that is your culturescape or your cultural landscape. That is what it's made up of. As a result, your values are almost pre-loaded. But should they be preloaded? Are they what you want your values, your beliefs, your goals, your life to look like? Another name for these preloaded values is something author Vishen Lakhiani calls Brules, or Bullcrap rules. Now, he didn't use the word bullcrap. Of course, I use another word for crap. But regardless, you get the point. Now, not all values or beliefs that you grew up with or are surrounded by are bad. But it's up to you to determine if they're limiting you. Or are they serving you? It's up to you to identify them, to question them, maybe even to challenge them. And then, if so, rewrite them. To give you an example, I grew up a relatively big guy, bigger than most kids my age in high school. Because of this, I was expected to play football. And while I love football as a whole, I didn't enjoy playing it at that time of my life. Instead, imagine the shock and disbelief on people's faces when I said I wanted to run cross country instead. Looking back, it makes total sense to me. Because while there's competition in the races, more than anything, there's camaraderie, encouragement, and support. Sounds familiar to, I don't know, life coaching and training? Or there's a story Joel Osteen shares in a sermon of his I Am concept. He tells of a young man who was told by one of his early teachers that he'd only ever be a C student. What happened throughout his scholarly life? He was conditioned in average C's. But when he was working for a company as a young adult, the company gave all their employees an aptitude test. His scores were the highest they'd seen in years. Next thing he knew, he was working in a whole different department, making more money, and doing the things he enjoyed a lot more, because he was fulfilling his true potential. Now, have you been given rules to live by? Have you been told or given some idea that limits you? To figure out if you have been subconsciously engineered, you need to practice consciousness engineering. This means that you can dissect and categorize your life and how you operate into a set of beliefs. Meaning, if you believe something is hard, it will be. If you believe something is easy, it will be. These are your beliefs that you were taught. But again, some of these beliefs are created for you, which means you approach them in a way of doing things that is also probably created or modeled for you. So if something is hard for you, it's because the strategies or methods you were taught and are using aren't working. You need to link up with someone instead that it is successful and learn from their methods. Then you can adjust to a way that does work uniquely for you. Just as you did with our values video last week, I encourage you to think about people you look up to and admire. People that are doing the things you want to be able to do. Reach out to them, or if that's not possible, study them. Try to find out how they're able to do what you want to do. Now, if I can be of assistance with any of this, I would love to hear from you. In fact, I'd love to hear from you anyway, so please feel free to comment or send me a message. But be sure to tune in next week as I go over creating a system to get you to your happiness, to your bliss, something called Blisscipline. Now, in the meantime, one thing that is not a Brule, it's my belief in you and that we are all capable of greatness. No matter what comes in your way or seems to delay you from getting there, know that you will get there. You just have to keep moving forward and step up to greatness. See you next week.